Hi everyone, welcome to R112. I'm your instructor, I-led, pronounced I-led. I'm not going to bore you by talking about myself, so instead what I've done is I provided a short bio for you to bore yourself with. You can read it down there to your left. So a little bit about the course. R112 is an introduction to digital technology and its application in the production of visual art. What you're going to learn in this class is how to develop your art skills while learning the current versions of Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and After Effects. What you'll find in this class is that you'll do better in the course if you have a strong interest in both the art and the technical. Now, please take a few minutes to watch the remainder of this video, which is essential to navigating the course. Okay, so this is your course website. The menu to access and jump to different parts of the website can be found here, and you can jump to different parts of the page, or you can also just simply scroll down as we're doing here. And again, my bio can be found here, so you can just click on that and it'll pop up. Your syllabus can be found here. It has more in-depth information on the course and its objectives, the method of instruction, instructor expectations, missing assignment policies, method of evaluation, any supplies and materials, any books or reference texts. So please be sure to check it out for more details, but some of what is covered on the syllabus will also be in overview format on the website. So we'll go over and check some of that out. Now the schedule button right here, you'll probably find the most useful once the class has started, as it will jump you directly to the scheduled lessons areas of the page, which you'll use more frequently. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and scroll down. This is the content and grading section. There are 3 projects in the course. The first project is a digital illustration project that relates to the topic of food and will be executed in Illustrator. The second project is a movie poster executed based on a movie storyline you create and will be executed in Photoshop. And then the third project will be an animated logo sequence you will create in After Effects. Okay. Each one of these projects is worth 100 points each and is weighted as 25% of your grade. The other 100 points and 25% of your grade are for all the weekly homework assignments that are completed while working on all 3 projects collectively. Okay, so we have 100 points, 100 points, 100 points, 100 points, 400 points collectively. That's 25% of your grade, 25% of your grade, 25% of your grade, 25% of your grade for 100%. Now, if you want to look at the assignments, you can look here. And if you want to look at your grade book and look at the progress of your grade in class, you can look in here. Okay. And now all of these links below are links to some of the most important documents related to each assignment. So for example, if you click on the assignment sheet, it will pop up this assignment sheet. And this assignment sheet explains the project in depth. Okay. Now if we look at the grade sheet, the grade sheets will show you each area that will be evaluated and how the work is scored and graded for your particular project. Okay, so make sure and take a look at that. Then there's the design brief and self-evaluation. So this one downloaded as a Word document and you'll be able to type directly into it. And basically, this is where you tell us a little bit about your project and your process, your struggles, and then you're also given the opportunity to tell me how you think you did in terms of grade. Okay. And then other important supporting documentations readily available here are practice and project templates that you will need for the project. But please know that all of these links will be provided at the time that they are needed in the schedule. Now moving right along, student work. This is where examples of all 3 projects can be found, each in their corresponding heading. So for instance, this is project 1. If you want to look at the examples larger, you can click on them and then you can navigate through them by moving along in these arrows. When you're done, you can go ahead and click off and you'll see the other projects down below. Okay, now this is the calendar. The calendar shows you visually when you have due dates in overview. Homework is assigned on Monday, so this is the first week of class. So for week 1, this is when your homework will be assigned, and then you have all of this time to look at videos here, and then your homework will be due on the following Monday. Okay, so it'll say due week 1 homework. Okay, so this is week 1. And office hours are currently held on Wednesday, so the sooner you can take a look at your lectures here, the better, so that you know whether you have a good understanding or not. Then you can get help on Wednesday if necessary during office hours, and then you still have enough time to complete your assignment, and then the homework is due on Monday. Okay, at least this is for this semester. You might notice that this changes in a different semester. Just go based on whatever is on your calendar. So if it starts on Tuesday and it's due on Tuesday, or whatever the case may be. Okay, you can also click on the agenda tab here, and it will give you agenda of due dates in list format. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the month view. Now this calendar is also linked through my Google Calendar, and also has the capacity to send you email reminders and other notification types if you add it through your UH Google account here. Okay. For more detailed instructions on how to add a Google Calendar and set notifications, you can watch a more thorough instructional video right here. Okay, and I'm moving right along. Now the schedule, this area of the page is the one you'll use the most frequently. It has a week-by-week breakdown of all the lectures, the homework, and the projects we are working on in a particular week. It will specify the due dates and the times as well. Now make sure that you check your website for the most current date and time that something is due. Okay, each semester it may change, so just make sure you check out your website. Don't go based on what's listed on this video. Okay. All right, now here's a quick introduction to how you'll navigate this. When you start the class, you are in week 1, okay? Again, note that the date for that week will also be listed next to it, and this date will change depending on the semester that you're in, okay? So when you visit the first week, we'll go ahead and click on it. That will open up, and this video here will be a very short intro video of what we will cover that week, okay? As you scroll down, you'll be introduced to the lectures for that week, and notice you can either play the video here. Now because I have preloaders, you'll need to click on it twice. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. It'll either play directly in here, or you can also choose to make it full screen and you can expand it here. Okay. Once you're in here, you may choose to either change the settings to where you improve the quality, so like you can watch it in HD. Or if your streaming is kind of slow because of your internet, you can lower the quality so that it streams faster. Okay. You can also turn on subtitles, and then you can also just watch it directly in YouTube so that it opens up in its own window. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. All right, now if there's any important pertinent resources such as handouts and templates, written tutorials, or supporting videos, they'll be provided in links next to the videos. Okay, so make sure and take a look at those. And then lastly, you'll have the homework listed for that week. It will be in written format, okay? So they'll have the different parts. Sometimes there's several components to the homework. And then the video on the right here will show you step by step what you need to do to complete that. The due date will be specified below, and this will change again every semester, so make sure you look at the current one on your website. And a link to where to submit it will be provided here, so you can submit it in the correct assignment in Laulima Assignments. And if you click on it, it'll directly link you there. Right? I'm going to go ahead and close that. And you'll have the same thing repeating over Project 2 and Project 3. Okay. Now, working on your projects, we have 2 computer labs, COA 102 and COA 103, that are available for your use should you choose not to purchase the software and work on your own computer, as we'll discuss in just a bit. In these labs, you can work on computers. They have the required Adobe software, and the Macs have Skype installed on them. And you have access to scanners, printers, and the ability to check out cameras and other resources for this class, such as stylus tablets. Note that some of the items can only be checked out to majors, and some can only be checked out for use within the labs. If you plan to work on the labs, make sure to bring headphones to listen to lectures, okay? Please note that there's lab hours here. If you click on that, the lab hours will pop up. These are updated by the semester, so make sure you check out your link with current hours. Go ahead and close out of that. And then this lab tour here will provide you with a tour of the labs that will orient you more with the space and resources there. Okay, so go ahead and check that out. It's given by my peer, Raphael Lowe. Also note that while not typical, lab hours are subject to change, so please plan accordingly. Try to get your work done as soon as possible in case there are some issues with lab hours being changed. Also note that the lab monitors are not tutors. They are not there to help you with any design or software instructional issues that you do not understand from lecture. If you need help, you need to rewatch the videos or contact me or book me during office hours to get additional help. Lab monitors are merely there to check out equipment, monitor the equipment, or if there's a software issue like it's not starting up, any kind of technical glitches like that. They're there to help with that, but they are not there as personal tutors, okay? Now, software options. There is an Adobe trial for 7 days for each of the softwares that we'll be using. So you may want to use a combination of the free computer lab and the Adobe 7-day trials, but please keep in mind that they do expire in 7 days. So to maximize their use, do not install them until I tell you to install them. So even though we'll be referencing the software in the lecture, we will not start using it until a certain week in the semester. So for example, if we look at the first software that we'll be using will be Illustrator. If you go up into the schedule and we go to week 3, and we go down to the homework section, you'll clearly see that it talks about software options, and it gives you instructions to either go and work in the lab or use a 7-day trial or go and pay for the subscription for a month. Okay, so even though we discuss software in previous weeks, in previous lectures, at this point in time is when I tell you to either go and work in the labs or to install the trial or to buy so that you can use it during these 30 days where we're actually required to use the software for the purposes of completing the homework in the class. Okay? All right, going back here. All right. So again, do not install it until instructed to do so, or even later than that if you want to choose the week that you decide to work on it in. But at least wait until instructed to do so so that you can get the most out of your 7-day trial. Some people like to wait and work in the lab and then use it in that last week to kind of finalize and do the finishing touches, or during the week that seems the most intense working with the software wise, and you can do that as well. Okay, so that's the option with the trial. Now to do trials, you could click here and it'll take you to the website and it'll say download trial. Okay, once you click that, it'll walk you through the process. If you're unfamiliar with that process, then you want to go to trial installation instructions, and that'll pop up this window and it'll tell you how to go about doing that. Okay, and the other thing you want to keep in mind is that just because you have a computer at home doesn't necessarily mean that it will be able to run the system. But don't install the trial just to figure out whether or not it will be able to install, because the minute that you install it, it will start using your trial whether or not you actually go in there and physically use it. So don't download and install it, because it will start running and it will expire in 7 days. If you want to check the system requirements, you can go in here and you can look at the list. It'll tell you the basic requirements that you need either on a Windows machine or a Mac OS so that you can compare it to your system. If you're unsure what this all means and how it relates to your computer and you want to know whether or not it'll run it, my suggestion is that you go to adobe.com and contact their customer support and ask them whether or not your computer system will meet the requirements to install the software. But don't just install it to figure out whether or not it does, because your trials will expire once you download and install them. Okay, the 3 softwares that you'll be using is Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe After Effects. And Adobe After Effects is the most intensive to run, so if it can run Adobe After Effects, it should be able to run the other software. So you can go ahead and contact Adobe support. Okay, all right, something to keep in mind, and I tell this to everyone that's working off of their own computer, whether it's by trial or by single month app subscription, is if something goes wrong with your personal computer or the trial, you must go into the labs or find an alternative way to complete your work. Okay, so there is this resource always available to you guys. All right. The other option is, instead of dealing with trials and working in the lab, some people prefer to just downright pay for the 1-month app subscription. Now, there are other methods of purchasing software. You can purchase for the whole year. You can purchase under a student discount. You can purchase all different kinds of ways, and you can go in there and check out what they have to offer and see what's most beneficial to you. But for the purposes of this class and the way that I've structured it, with you guys only needing each software for 30 days, I suggest the most cost-effective way to purchase a subscription, and that's the 1-month single app application. And you would basically click here when instructed to do so if you choose to purchase. And under single apps here, you would say when it's time to install Illustrator, you would go to Illustrator, or when it's time to install Photoshop, you would go to Photoshop, or when it's time to install After Effects, you would go to After Effects. But basically, you'd select the software at the given time when it's recommended that you install it in the schedule. And then under here, there's different options, and you'll notice $19.99 looks good, but it requires you to purchase for the whole year. So that's $19.99 times 12 months that you'd have to pay each month. So you want to be careful with that. There's the annual plan prepaid that would require you to do a lump sum payment of $239. What I'm recommending is this one, the monthly plan. Now it's more than the $19.99, but you only pay for it for the month that you need it. Okay, so you'd pay for the monthly plan, and you'd go ahead and pay $29.99 for Illustrator for the 30 days, and then cancel after 30 days so that they don't bill you for the next month. So it's $29.99 for Illustrator, then it would be another $29.99 for Photoshop, and then it would be another $29.99 for After Effects, for a total of approximately $90 in software. That's again if you choose to buy it. But there's other methods that you can try. You can call them, you can figure that out. I'm suggesting the one that I feel is the most cost effective for this class, should you choose to buy software, as opposed to working in the labs for free or using the trial in combination with the free lab usage. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close out of that. All right. Same thing for this one. Do not pay for the monthly subscription until instructed to do so in the appropriate week in the schedule. Okay? All right. Same thing. If you buy the software, if something goes wrong with your computer or something's not running with the subscription, I'd suggest calling Adobe and figuring out why your subscription isn't working. But if something does go wrong with your personal computer or your subscription, you're still expected to complete your work. So you're expected to work in the labs or find an alternative way to complete your work. Okay? Now, turning in your work. Assignments are assigned at the beginning of the week on Mondays, and they're due the following Monday by noon via Laulima assignments. Now, there is a grace period until midnight, but except for critique dates. Those critique dates are firm on the deadline, and they're due by noon in order to give your peers ample time to be able to critique the work between noon and midnight later that night. So be courteous and be sure to submit those on time by noon. And I'll be sure to give you a reminder when that time comes. Late submissions. For late homework, submissions are docked 1 to 2 points depending on when they are turned in, but no late homework will be accepted after noon on Thursday. Okay? Late projects on major due dates like Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, those will be docked 1 full letter grade and will not be accepted after 2 weeks from the due date without consent of the instructor. Only compelling circumstances with valid documentation will be accepted. See the syllabus for more details. Also note that if you turn in late work, it will result in late grading of that particular assignment and late feedback, if any can be provided at that time. Your written feedback and grade is returned via Laulima assignments within 1 to 2 days for homework and within 1 to 2 weeks for major projects. You will receive an email notification to your UH email, so make sure that you change your forward settings if you're not using your UH email, as can be seen in the email video below. Now, to see your progress in the class thus far, you can also check out Gradebook. Now, for more detailed information on homework submission and receiving feedback, as well as checking Gradebook, please watch this video. All right. There are several methods for getting in touch with me. You can do email, phone, or Skype. The best method to reach me when you are struggling with homework or are in need of one-on-one software help is via Skype during Skype office hours listed. Notice these will change, so make sure that you check your website for current hours for this semester. Now, it's strongly suggested that you book a 15-minute appointment to see me during office hours via this Book Me Now option, okay? Now, if you want more instructions on how to download Skype and add me, ILED G, as a contact and book an appointment, watch this instructional video here. Now, if you just have a simple question, I can be reached via email at iled@hawaii.edu or you could contact me via this form. It'll send to my email as well. And it will usually take me around 24 hours to respond, except for during weekends and holidays. So make sure that you change your forward settings if you're not using your UH email, as can be seen in the email video below. I can also be reached via my cell phone. This is my cell phone here. Just please call during normal business hours. Since I'm in California, it's a few hours later over here. Okay? If you do not reach me, leave a message and I'll return your call. Again, usually within 24 hours, excluding weekends and holidays. So I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay? All right, that pretty much summarizes how to navigate this course website. If you are unclear, please make sure to watch the corresponding video for more details as suggested. And if you still have questions, feel free to contact me. Aloha, and hope we have a wonderful semester.